Next on Worcester News tonight, a new proposed bill will require all first responders in Massachusetts be equipped with an opioid antidote like Narcan. Plus, it's February vacation week and many are heading to Shrewsbury to hit the slopes. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Bottary. A proposed bill by a Massachusetts lawmaker would require all first responders to carry Narcan. Senator Michael Moore says the bill serves as a safety measure. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with the story. Cam?
Anna, a good number of police, fire departments, and first responders in the state already carry Narcan on board, but not all do. And this bill is aimed at sort of bridging that gap, making sure all first responders have it on their person. And the bill has already received a good amount of support, garnering almost 100 cosigns.
Local state legislators are showing support for a bill requiring all first responders be equipped with opioid antidote Narcan.
It's making sure that our public safety personnel have the proper resources that when they respond, they can address the issue.
Senator Michael Moore is one of 15 Massachusetts senators co-sponsoring Representative William Pignatelli's bill. Moore says the bill serves as a safety measure.
Out in Southwick, where I think there were 2 police officers that were exposed to fentanyl, that luckily the other officers had Narcan with them, that they were able to administer Narcan to their fellow police officers, which ended up saving them.
Last week, the state's Department of Public Health reported opioid deaths dropped by 4% in 2018. But the number of total overdoses continues to rise, including in Worcester.
We can't give up yet because what you're seeing is there's a lot of new drugs coming into the system like fentanyl, which is very scary. So we really can't let up our efforts of education.
If passed, first responders would be properly trained on how to use Narcan and any opioid antidotes created in the future. Moore believes the bill is another step towards cutting down the state's opioid-related death toll.
As soon as the family members started to pass away, or we had fatalities from this, that's when I think the public and the family members, we started to hear the outcry. So I think if you look at it as a team effort, that's how we're going to overcome this.
Now, the bill was recently filed. Senator Moore hoping by early April the bill will go in front and have a few of its hearings. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Good Chemistry could be Worcester's first shop to open for recreational marijuana sales. The Colorado company is up for a final license from the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission on Thursday. The Harrison Street store was Worcester's first medical marijuana dispensary, opening in August. City Manager Edward Augustus says so far they've selected 13 retail cannabis stores through the state and local process of signing a host community agreement.
We're looking for is people who have the background, the experience, the financing to do this and do it right. And then we are looking for folks who've picked a location that isn't close to the other locations. We don't want to have a clustering of these in one particular area in the city.
Augustus says the last 2 licenses should be chosen within the next month. As for Good Chemistry, even if the store is awarded the retail license, it could still take up to several weeks for it to open for recreational sales. 2 malls in central Massachusetts will open kiosks selling CBD products. Cannabis firm Green Growth Brands says it's entered into the agreement with the Simon Property Group to gain access to 108 shopping malls in the U.S., including the Auburn Mall and the Solomon Pond Mall in Marlborough. According to the company, their products will be marketed under the Seventh Sense Botanical Therapy brand. Products will include CBD-infused personal care and beauty products. CBD is the non-psychoactive element of the cannabis plant. Green Growth Brands CEO Peter Horvath says they will methodically roll out hundreds of shops across America in the very near future. Well, Worcester police are asking for the public's help in identifying a man suspected of breaking into the Islamic Center of Greater Worcester. According to police, the alleged break-in occurred on February 13th. Anyone who may recognize this man or has any information on this case is asked to contact the Worcester Police Department. For many students in central Massachusetts, it's February vacation. Cold temps and snowy weather are the perfect combo to take a trip to the mountain. For many students, there's no school in the morning. It's vacation week. So instead of sitting down to do their homework, they're out hitting the slopes at Ski Ward.
This is one of the busiest times of the year.
General Manager Stephanie LaCroix says this week they've extended hours 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They're offering scheduled lessons, walk-in group lessons, and camps. They see about 175 kids a day.
It's great for kids to be able to get outside, especially when they're off from school. They're usually tired when they go home from here too, so it's great for parents.
The Blackburn family geared up for a night ski. Their daughter Abigail has been taking lessons for 2 years, and they say they love this mountain.
Really no lines, and it's perfect for beginners.
It's a great place to learn to ski.
LaCroix says Saturday they're offering buy one, get one free tickets for tubing and lift tickets from 6 to 9 p.m. Well, February vacation destinations in Worcester are taking extra precautions to prevent illnesses like the flu. The Ecotarium says thousands of students will pass through this week, and they want to make sure the surfaces they touch are clean. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
More than 8,000 children will pass through the Ecotarium during February school vacation week, and the museum is making sure they stay healthy.
We want kids to be immersed and to be able to touch and feel the exhibits and interact with some of the technology.
According to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, the flu is widespread across the state. This week, a young girl from Middlesex County died of the flu. She was the third pediatric death in the state this season. The Ecotarium says they have extra staff to wipe down the exhibits.
Making sure that everything's in perfect condition and reset and basically the way it needs to be for the kids to enjoy themselves.
Their efforts are putting parents' minds at ease.
When you come to a museum or an exhibit like this, you want your kids to interact, and trying to keep them from touching things kind of defeats the purpose of the exploratory aspect.
We can only watch the children so much. I mean, they're running around, they're having a great time.
The museum says they prepare for this week for months, incorporating new topics like engineering, and want everyone to enjoy it.
There's lots of space here and options for being physically active and kind of getting the wiggles out.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
A third child has now died from the flu. The Department of Public Health says the little girl was from Middlesex County. This flu season also responsible for the deaths of a 12-year-old boy from Milford and another girl from Framingham. Public health officials say January and February are typically the height of flu season, but flu activity usually continues into March, and it's not too late to get a flu shot. This year's vaccine, they say, appears to be effective and still available. Health officials say more than 7,000 people in the Bay State have been diagnosed with the flu this season. New research shows female executives across central Massachusetts make substantially less than their male counterparts, nearly half of what men make. And there's also a call for more women to have higher positions. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
In central Massachusetts, women occupy far less leadership roles than men. According to new research by the Worcester Business Journal, only 16% of CEOs in the area are women.
In Massachusetts, if you look at the top 100 publicly traded companies, only 4% are female. But when you shift to nonprofit, there's a higher percentage in the 20s, both in Massachusetts and nationally. So when you average those out, the 16% here is about on par.
Jean Beaupre is a faculty advisor for the Nichols College Institute for Women's Leadership. She says putting women in superior positions can do much more for a business than just gender equality.
Getting more women onto board seats and into the C-suite and CEO level, we find the more women that are at the table and participating in a leadership role, the outcomes are better, both financially and in terms of innovation.
Executive Director of the Central Massachusetts YWCA says bringing different perspectives to a company is important.
There needs to be a more diverse leadership power structure in the city and in the area to really solve the problems we have as a community. The population is more women than men by slight, so why should it be 12% in the top spots? I would say that that's not surprising, but I think as a community it should be shocking to most people.
Liz Hamilton is the first female executive director of the Worcester Boys and Girls Club in 128 years. She says it's an honor and women need more opportunities like hers.
When I think you look at what makes a good leader, a lot of the women I see are the epitome of that. And I think all we need is that opportunity. We have the talent. We're willing to take risk. We're willing to make a difference.
And the Worcester Business Journal's research also found women in those leadership roles in central Massachusetts on average make $200,000 less than men in similar roles. In the studio, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A familiar face in Worcester's political scene announces he's running for city councilor at large. Former City 1 councilor Tony Economou announced on his radio show this morning he would be running for an at-large position. Economou serves as the District 1 councilor for 6 years and says he misses being on the council.
I want to continue where I left off when I was on the council. I want to continue to work with our business community. We've done such a great job downtown. How do we harness that power and that energy into the small businesses around the city, you know, and bring them up into our corridors?
Economou is a lifelong Worcester resident and says he decided not to run for a 4th term in 2017 because he wanted to spend more time with his 2 sons, who are now in college.